My name is Waterman. I'm a soil scientist, reclamation consultant, and president of Paragon Infinity, our partnership with Local 1935. We specialize in soils, vegetation, and wetlands, but apply them more to baseline, so when we're assessing sites that somebody wants to develop, or on the backside, and most of our work is reclaiming things. So particularly oil sand mining and major midstream projects, Keystone XL, Trans Mountain expansion, projects like that. I don't. I used to. My family moved here from England when I was just 4. My dad worked at Suncor for his career, and I've worked for them for a while, so it's nice to be on the other side. I kind of understand the mines a bit. I think it helped in developing the business. Well, we were introduced by Imperial Oil and spent a year kind of building a relationship, making some friendships, and seeing what would work for both of us. I'd say that, and I'll give you a specific example, is for a while I was looking for the best way to incorporate Indigenous knowledge into the work that we did. There's a lot of different communities here, and I'd say maybe some of the political considerations got in the way of us getting the knowledge that we wanted. And so I sought a relationship with a specific community where we could kind of build trust, build friendship, and share information that way. One of the scopes we do is develop life of mine closure plans. So what's going to happen in the mine in 40, 50, 60 years. And instead of having those plans mostly prepared, and there's a timeline that needs to be followed for regulatory deliverables. So instead of presenting a plan to communities and asking for feedback at that stage, we can now get the feedback pretty much immediately, and we can integrate it into the plan and improve our plans that way. When it comes to the nuts and bolts of things, access to enthusiastic youth and others who are interested in our industry, and having local knowledge too. So ways like that. We're a fairly small company. We're about 85 people, but most of our competition are fairly large integrated engineering firms. I like to think we punch above our weight. Well, I think one of the things that sets Paragon Infinity apart is that we're involved with projects right from the start for as long as they go. For example, the Fort Hills project, we started in 1998. We followed it through the regulatory applications, through startup, and now through operations, and are helping them with reclamation. I think that's fairly unique for our industry. We certainly work harder, I think, than many, and in consulting, I know lots of people say that, it's hard to deliver on it, but we're pretty passionate about what we do. We integrate a lot of the important parts of reclamation for the area. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, but what we do is more or less what you end up seeing. When you see areas that are reclaimed, new trees, new soil, wildlife starting to use the areas, that's the result of what we do. Since we do everything from seed collection, soil placement, planting of the trees and shrubs, we can adjust our plans on the fly. For instance, some of the feedback last fall was, can you provide access to berry patches in places where elders might be able to access them? And so we could switch on the fly. 3 days later, our crews were out there planting per that feedback. So I think we're pretty nimble. And as president, I'm up here every month. I'm still very much hands-on. So the communication goes very quickly and decisions are made very quickly. The landscape has changed from the mining. And so getting an understanding of how the communities will and want to use the land post-reclamation. Some landforms, I think, provide more comfort in terms of the vegetation, the berries, traditional uses for it. On an overburden dump is perhaps a higher level of comfort than a tailings pond that's been reclaimed. So finding ways and getting input like that directly from community members helps us design the reclamation plans so that we tailor those areas and plant the species in the areas communities are comfortable with, and use other areas perhaps for things like forestry. So having that direct feedback from the community helps us out a lot. And then we also use the businesses like Métis trackers from the community for things like shuttling our trucks, maintenance, just making things easier on our crews so they can stick to technical work. I like to scuba dive a lot. My son just started, so that was pretty neat. I like skiing once in a while, take adventures, skydiving, things like that. Yeah. Seems like you have to make a point of seeking adventure when you're an adult. It doesn't just happen to you. So I play with my kids, and we love to travel. Paragon Infinity offers you a lot of confidence that we understand how our piece of the puzzle fits with operations. We understand the limitations of equipment. We understand the demands of production and how the mines actually work. So we like to think that we fit our plans into that puzzle without delaying things, without making things extra complicated, bringing a lot of years of experience to it so that it gives our clients less headaches. They don't have to undo what we've planned for them. We can fast forward the process a bit because we understand things so well.